Welcome to another episode of Summer Unscripted, where the only thing scripted is the intro, and I am your host, Summer Melody. Today we are recording with Sock Puppet, because I remembered this time. Yay! Alright, so today we are going to discuss the new MLP movie. Not Rainbow Rocks, because that is now old news, because this fandom is wicked fast when it comes to turnarounds. Even though we like harping on small details, we like to get on with the big things and go to the next great adventure. The LA Times announced that Hasbro has released that they are making another MLP movie. We do not know the exact date. They said estimate, if I remember the article from the LA Times correctly, it is 2017. We are looking at... They have also announced that they are doing Candyland and Monopoly the movie because Battleship was such a huge success. So that's it. Zero details on if it will be a continuation of the Equestria Girls world. More than likely it will be, just given the fact that they already have 2 movies in the franchise. Why would they ruin it with doing a pony-based movie? Also no word if it's a TV movie. That is always a possibility, but they've done so well with the first 2, relatively well with the first 2 movies, that I don't see why they would go to a TV movie or straight to DVD movie, that they'll probably keep it in the slate for another theatrical release. I would really love to have a pony movie. Strictly speaking, they've done really well with the 2-part episodes. I have absolutely zero gripes with the pacing on them, except for maybe the fact that the first half was setting up for the cool part of the second half. But given an extra 2 episodes and make it like a 4-part episode arc, they could turn that into a movie. And they could easily do that with some really creative villains or ideas. And that would be just huge. Forget about Equestria Girls. Speaking about Equestria Girls, Rainbow Rocks, still have not seen it. I have finally broken down and watched some of the music as well as some reviews because I'm just like, there's nothing else people are reviewing. Whatever. So I have a general idea of what the hell is going on for when it comes to the plot, but I'm really impressed with the music. I really liked that there was more music. The first movie, I think the biggest downfall was that it tried to slate itself as a musical movie and it didn't do it right because it didn't follow the musical format of you have your introduction song, you have a couple that set up the tone of the movie, and then you have a couple just kind of fluff songs, and then you have your character songs, plot songs, and then you have your big finale. And the first movie just didn't do that. From what I've gathered from just listening to that, this movie does a much better job of having the music drive the plot versus the music is there. One of the things that I was thinking about the other day about Equestria Girls in general was not that they have limited what they can do within the high school girl setting, but they have literally limited themselves in what they can do because they're humans. And this might not be anything new or earth-shattering, but the fact that not only are they limited to just being people in essentially earth ponies, so to speak, that they don't have any magical powers, they don't do anything cool, and then by incorporating the magic into the human world makes it kind of a little but it also limits their movement. When it comes to the TV show, the animators need to be more creative on how the characters move because they're not bipeds. They have an extra set of limbs. They don't have hands, but then they have the magic in the wings as well. So they have to come up with really creative ways for the ponies to interact with each other and express themselves while having limited mobility in some aspects by not having hands, but also added mobility when they're unicorns and Pegasi because they are moving themselves in a way that is atypical for humans, or manipulate the world around them if they're unicorns. They are forced to be more creative in the pony world, and just the visual aesthetics of the pony world strives to be different, even though you still have... What in the world? Oh, the AC just kicked on. Even though you have parallels to the human world in the pony world, door handles, for instance, that obviously a pony wouldn't use, or they just push open and can't use the doorknob, no biggie. And then you're starting to get into like Lyra, haha, anthropology. That was actually a fun fan fiction. Honestly, if they made anthropology into just an episode explaining Pony World and Equestria Girls World, that would be so cool. So the pony realm has to take more artistic liberties and creative licensings in its cartoon universe, and so by being creative with the characters and how they move, it is also establishing that it is a cartoon and family friendly and kid friendly and also more enjoyable to watch. I think one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't like but don't realize they don't like is that the movements of the characters are much stiffer. Except for maybe Twilight when she was first movie. Referencing only first movie. I haven't seen the second movie. Except for her first coming to terms with being a biped. Other than that, they're walking on two legs. The way they interact with the world is so generic of how we normally interact with the real world that they really need to do more strides in convincing the audience that this is a fictional world and it's more cool. On the flip side, they may be toning it down because they want you to relate to the characters. And they want to find some sort of realism in the Equestria Girls world so that way younger girls or younger audiences can find some relatability in it. So, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm going to enjoy Rainbow Box more, just by the little bit that I have seen, is that they have incorporated more of the cartoon aesthetics. So that's why I think the Rainbow Rocks movie, again, I haven't seen it, but going into it, and from what I have seen just of the musical numbers, I feel that I'm going to enjoy it more because they incorporate more of the cartoony feel of the Ponyverse into Equestria Girls that you didn't really see in the first movie because they didn't have the magic already established. And now that the magic is established, and with the visual enforcement of the music, with the Battle of the Bands in particular, where they're visually blasting people off with their awesome guitar riffs, it gives it more of a cartoon feel and makes it more entertaining and more enjoyable to watch. I'm looking forward to just watching it because they have grown, the artistic staff has grown a considerable amount since then just by watching the show, and since it's the same people doing the show and the movie, I'm super excited. And the music, I'm so excited for the music. I love music, if you can't tell. Don't have an outro, that's okay, because from the intro on it is unscripted. So by having an outro, I would lie about it being not scripted. Boo boo ba doo boo ba da ba ba da ba ba da boo. Do 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 do. This is Summer Unscripted, yeah.